Okay, our last section, or our last couple sections, because they kind of go together. Is converting degrees to radians or radians to degrees. This was on our notes sheet. I think it was our yellow sheet, I believe. But you have to remember, to go from radians to degrees, you just multiply by 180 over pi. Or to go from degrees to radians, you just multiply by pi over 180. So just to kind of refresh in our memory, this is what is the radian measure of 120 degrees? Since this is our degrees, we take that 120, we multiply, I'm just going to rewrite that, make that better. 120, we multiply it by, yes, pi over 180. Now when we do that, this actually comes out to be 120 over 180 and then pi to the side because we're multiplying by pi. We're just going to keep pi in our answer. So we can, the calculator would do this for us. Just kind of get in the habit of saying, okay, I'm going to do the 120 divided by 180. We get 2/3. So our answer is 2/3 pi radians. Okay, 2/3 pi radians. So try 35. It says, what is the radian measure of 75 degrees? So our degrees are, yep, 75. So what do we do again? Exactly, 75 times pi over 180. All right, so some of you want to jump that step, that's fine. Put it in the calculator, simplify it. We should end up with 5/12. 5/12 pi radians, okay? And then, this is a test-like question. Let's see if we're going to problem solve correctly. It says, how do you find the radian measure of 45 degrees? So it says, divide 45 by 360, then multiply by pi, and you get pi over 6. 90, do 90 by 360, multiply by pi, get pi over 2. 45 by 180, multiply by 2 pi, get 2 pi over 5. Divide 45 by 360, multiply by 2 pi, and get pi over 4. Now, let's do how we would normally do. We would take the degrees, right? Multiply by pi over 180. Now, I know none of those said that, but let's just work it out. Let's get an answer. If we do 45 times pi over 180, that's the same thing as 45 over 180 pi. And if we simplify that, that comes out to be 1/4 pi. Okay? That's the answer we're looking for to get 1/4 pi. Well, the first answer says pi over 6. That's like saying 1/6 pi. Then we have pi over 2. That's like saying 1/2 pi. To get 2 pi over 5. That's the same as saying 2/5. 2/5 pi. And this is 45 divided by 360 multiplied by 2 pi to get pi over 4. That's the same thing as 1/4 pi. Now, why? Okay, this gets me to what I'm trying to get, which is 1/4 pi. But this is divide 45 by 360. What did we do? We divided by 180, but we multiplied it by pi. They're using 360. Well, if I do 360, that's double 180, which makes sense you do by 2 pi, okay? Sometimes you get the right answer. They might use a different method, but it still comes out to be true, okay? So, make sure we can convert. Then, we need to make sure we can write an equation to a circle. All right, so standard form says x minus h parentheses squared plus y minus k parentheses squared equals radius squared. Our center is always in the form of h comma k. Radiuses are r. So real simple, I'm going to give you the center and the radius. We're going to see can you plug it into the form correctly. So I'm just going to remember this is our h, this is our k, that r is 3. We're going to find which one does this form, which is x minus h parentheses squared plus y minus k parentheses squared equals radius squared. All right, so since my h is a negative 12, what happens when I subtract a negative 12? X minus a negative 12 parentheses squared plus y minus 9 parentheses squared equals 3 squared. Okay, now I'm running out of room, but I just want to talk about this right here. When you subtract a negative, that actually really becomes, yes, plus 12. And then, so we're looking for plus 12, then minus 9 parentheses squared. What is 3 squared? That's 9. So yes, our answer is D. Okay. You take care of 38. Remember, I'm left. You're right. Then here, I want you to come up with the equation of the circle if I give you the graph. So what do you need in order to do that? You need the center. So first, let's find that center. The center of that circle looks right there because it has to be equal distance all the way around. So my center is a 4, -1. Okay. Remember, that represents our h comma k. Okay. And then our next thing we need the radius. We need to know what the radius is. I could draw, as long as it's vertical or horizontal lines, I can literally count it. So our radius here off this graph is 2 units. So automatically, since we're going to always have it equal to r squared, that cannot be true because that has 16. So we need to see which one is saying x minus h, and our h is 4. Well, b doesn't work because that's the 6 plus 6. So x minus 4, what happens when we subtract a negative? That becomes a positive. So our answer is C. Okay, great job. Take care of number 40. No multiple choice, but you're giving me the equation. And on the last part here, and I think I'm going to have Mr. Toops show you some steps on this section. So, but you need to do the mixed practice. I'm not going to do that. We're going to check that in class. And I don't think all problems are covered on the next part of the video, but do the best you can. Get this done and study, study, study. Thanks.